Good evening and welcome to Sancta Media's first ever Showcase for Life, broadcast live here this weekend from our studios in Moss End.
Indeed, Brian, that's correct. This is the first time we've done anything like this, a live broadcast of such enormous technical challenge. So we hope that the technology holds out and you can join us over the next few days, tonight and tomorrow, to hear from a wonderful selection of speakers from all over Scotland and beyond, all for the cause of life.
So this weekend we're running this in aid of SPUC, who are a fantastic organisation who help support mothers and babies. So during the course of our programming you'll see a bar with a QR code and a link at the bottom of the screen, and we ask that if you can, you donate as generously as you can to this cause.
You may be wondering, what exactly do SPUC do? Over the course of this weekend we will be exploring the fantastic work they do across very many different fields to help better the lives of women and children in this country.
The Society for the Protection of Unborn Children is working to make abortion unthinkable and to ensure that precious unborn babies can go on to live happy, healthy and rewarding lives. Every unborn baby saved, every mother helped, each of these things will echo through eternity. With courage, clarity and kindness, SPUC will never stop speaking in defence of those who cannot. Please, unite with SPUC now and become a link in the chain courageously battling to end abortion.
So we've had over 50 years now since the implementation of the 1967 Abortion Act. Since then, over 10 million unborn children have lost their lives, and countless mothers, families, fathers have all been hurt. So that's really important that we're here today to remember those lives that have been lost and hurt by abortion.
So today we are here in Edinburgh to speak up for the unborn children. Since 1967 Act, more than 10 million babies have been killed as a result of abortion, and also for the women who have been damaged as a result of abortion. So we have more than 100 people here holding pro-life signs to be a voice for the voiceless.
It's been a while since I've done one of these things, and so I felt I really wanted to get back out onto the pro-life scene.
I was here last year and I think it's just a good opportunity to continue being involved in pro-life work and activism. I have some of my friends here, so it's quite nice to be with them and to do this together with them.
I'm a strong believer in SPUC and I take a strong pro-life position in Parliament and elsewhere. But I think for me, the key thing is that I'm here as a parliamentarian to speak for people that don't have a voice. And that can be different sections of society, but I mean one clear section of society that does not have a voice are unborn babies, and they should have rights, they do have rights, and they need somebody to speak for them. They can't speak for themselves, so I would want to speak for them here or in Parliament.
I think it's important to be here to show that you can be pro-women and pro-women's rights and also pro-life, and actually to show it's an issue everyone can have a say on. I think it's massively important that we have men and women, but particularly for women to stand up and say this is something I believe in and it's something that I'm happy to stand for as a woman.
550 babies have been killed in the womb every day, and people behind me are trying to say that abortion is healthcare, and they're hiding behind euphemisms and instead of highlighting the reality of abortion, which is barbaric. So you can see their signs, some of which are quite derogatory in nature. However, we have a stack of other encouraging pro-life signs here that are marking the humanity and sanctity of human life.
It's very peaceful and very quiet, and I would have to say I also visited outside the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. I was at the pro-life vigil during the 40 days, and again very quiet and very peaceful. So I mean the idea that we need legislation to restrict demonstrations like this or vigils like this, it's just absolute nonsense.
I think it's really hypocritical that there's pro-abortion counter-demonstrators here today. Routinely they say to pro-life people, be in public places, not near abortion clinics and not near hospital facilities. Now that we're in a public place, they're still here to counter our demonstration. So I think this shows that this isn't about buffer zones, this is about an intolerance of pro-life people and making sure that the pro-life person and presence is stamped out from every element of society.
Pleased to see so many different types of people, young and old, from different backgrounds, religious and some are not, as well, who are speaking up for the unborn and women who are post-abortive and damaged as a result of abortions. I I just think it's a really important day to stand up for the millions of babies that have been slaughtered in the womb, and like I said before, they have no voice. So unlike other victim groups, we need people out today. We need people speaking up for them, and it's so important. Never underestimate it, never tire of doing good, is what I would say to anyone who maybe is thinking maybe I could do it next year. And I encourage you to, join us.
So thanks once again for joining us this evening in the Sancta studios in Moss End. So to kick off today, let's go through to the studio to Mr. John Deegan, who is the CEO of SPUC, to hear about all the projects which they undertake.
Good evening and welcome back to the Sancta studio here in Moss End for Sancta's Showcase for Life. We are absolutely delighted and honoured for the first time to have John Deegan here in Moss End. Welcome, John.
My pleasure, John. Fantastic to be here. It's an amazing setup. You have a studio that any media company would be proud of. Yeah, fantastic.
We're very grateful to, first of all, Father Grant for giving us the space at the start, and Father Brown for allowing us to be here.
Yeah, it's quite outstanding. Yeah.
It's also a very cold night. We appreciate you being here, but what we're doing this weekend is something quite important. We are taking a stand, which is not a popular stand these days, and not even a popular stand for some Catholics as well. We're saying that women and babies deserve to be supported, and we're going to raise money for SPUC, SPUC Pro-Life. So, people who are watching might not be aware of SPUC. What's the origins of SPUC?
The Society for the Protection of Unborn Children. In 1966, some people got together because they saw that life was under threat because of the proposed abortion bill, which ultimately became the Abortion Act. You know, so but our vision is bigger than that. Our vision is that every human life is special. Every human life should be protected. All of our human rights instruments declare that quite clearly, but somehow under, you know, the guise, or maybe some people really believed it, there was compassion needed for women in desperate situations, and they needed abortions, and there was a whole story told that there were thousands, you know, hundreds of thousands of backstreet abortions taking place, and some compassion needed to be shown for women. So the Abortion Act ushered in this era of abortion, where we're now around the world. You know, the UK was, I suppose, a pioneer in this respect for the world at that time, and we're now at the stage where around the world 1 in 3 pregnancies now are being aborted. That's the UN, they declared that figure. I was shocked when I read that. In Scotland, we've seen it's only getting worse. You know, a 19% rise in abortion just in 1 year last year. So there's been it's something that just doesn't seem to be getting better, irrespective of all the policies that government have promoted to try and stop what they would, you know, regard as unwanted or unintended pregnancy. So all of these efforts have led to this huge war, really, on life in the womb. And SPUC stands on the basic principle of human rights, that, you know, that you're most vulnerable in the womb, and that's where you need to be protected. So we've got a massive array of work that we're involved in, because this very much is a cultural campaign we're in, a cultural battle. and part of that is trying to awaken our fellow citizens and let them know the value of life, but also to let them know the damage that abortion is doing, the damage that it's done to women. I mean, there's an ocean of suffering out there because of women who've had abortions, and society today very much is about, well, let's keep that quiet. You know, it's the big secret. You know, you want to be part of the, you know, the feminist movement. You know, and respect. This is all about women's liberty. But the reality is, those women feel they've got to sit in silence and the suffering, and we're seeing some of that come out. You know, we've seen celebrities coming out more recently, starting to talk about their abortions, how they were pressured to have an abortion, the emotional damage it had on them. So, yeah, we're part of a huge effort to turn around a culture that has gone seriously wrong.
And absolutely, SPUC is involved in that. From a Catholic perspective, we see it as a spiritual fight as well. Countless saints, no less Mother Teresa and John Paul II, have spoken of the culture of death and the effect it has on wider society. So you've mentioned the abortion rates are rising. Is there a link to, for example, the conflicts we're seeing worldwide just now? Mother Teresa was quite clear that if a mother can kill her child, who's left for to kill? Yeah. We're seeing increase in violence in Ukraine and Gaza. It seems the world needs peace, and is that somewhere we should start?
And the longer I've been involved in the pro-life movement, it's been, you know, decades now, and the more you observe it, it's sort of as if there is an emotional and spiritual dimension to it that is huge. You know, so it is affecting people. I think spiritually, it's as if we've closed our consciences. So, and as Mother Teresa pointed out, if you can kill a baby in the womb, you know, what else can't you do? You know, if you can justify that, you can justify just about anything. So we are seeing that. We've seen some of the tactics that have been used in the abortion industry now spilling over into other areas. It causes people to, you know, close down their critical thinking, because they really can't face what they're doing. We've got to justify this because I want this end. I don't want to be pregnant, or I don't want this person to be pregnant. It's a huge inconvenience. So we've seen a collapse in that. It came at the same time as the sexual revolution, of course. So even Pope Paul VI warned of that, what would happen. You know, with the sexual revolution, suddenly you had, you know, the chance to be caught out. You know, if you were behaving in a way and you didn't intend to have a child. You needed some solution to that. So abortion typically comes hand in hand with the sexual revolution and the contraceptive culture that was swept in with that. So yeah, we're seeing the ramifications across that. If we've desensitised people's consciences, if we can make the argument that the ends justifies the means, and if eradicating someone who's an inconvenience is a solution in abortion, then it can be a solution elsewhere. That seems to be the spiritual logic behind it.
I mean, tonight, part of the reasons that we're doing this is, of course, for the spiritual benefit of those who are in the pro-life fight, and for support of women and babies as well. Father Brown will be having an adoration and benediction tonight, which will be broadcast live as well. So that's part of the spiritual aspect of this weekend, and you're encouraged to join with us live and pray for any intention you wish, but more importantly for the intention of life. It's a very serious topic, life. It's a very difficult topic, but it's not all going to be doom and gloom this weekend in terms of the gravity of the issue, because pro-lifers are some of the happiest people I know, and we're going to be having some good fun as well. So what other areas, John, are SPUC involved in? So obviously there's other missions and categories and challenges you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, the taking on, when you get to the heart of it, it is a difficult issue. You know, this is talking about the injustice of killing an innocent human being, but a lot of our work is actually about promoting the value of life. You know, about the gift. It's wonderful to be alive, and pro-lifers appreciate that more than anything. So we celebrate life. We want to, you know, show people that, you know, having a child is wonderful. You know, it might seem terrible at the time. Oh, I'm facing this. It sounds like a tragedy. But when a life comes along, it's absolutely fantastic. You know, and if, you know, parents, I'm a grandparent now, believe it or not. I know you don't believe that, John, but it's true. When you see a new life come along, it's a life full of potential. and who knows what's going to become of any particular life. So I love my life, and I think everyone should have the opportunity to live a life. And the opportunity, we live at a time when the opportunities seem to be unbounded, but at the same time we have this doom and gloom in wider society. So I think the pro-life movement is something like, we're people of hope, people of joy, people of life. And I say, life is here for us to enjoy. If we have challenges in life, human beings are capable of overcoming the challenges. We don't have to turn to, eradicating people who are a challenge, eradicating people who are a difficulty. Find a way to support them. So we do that. So we have support mechanisms within SPUC. We have counselling for women who've had abortions. That's a big part of the work that we do through our Education and Research Trust. They focus specifically on that. We also have a platform for women who've had abortions who just want to share their stories. Many women just want to get out. They've bottled it up and they want to talk about it. So we have an initiative called Her Voice, and that gives them the opportunity to do that, but to meet with other women who've experienced that as well. That's vitally important for them. So we have networks of groups where women can meet up and speak to others who've gone through things like theirs. But we also want to avoid people making that mistake. So we've got an initiative called the Alma Mater Fund, and that gives support. We can't take on the whole world, we're a small organisation, but we realised when we worked in universities that the culture was very pro-abortion. So young students, if they got pregnant, the culture was, well, you need to get an abortion, that's all you can do. So we wanted to have a counter position to that and give a better example. So we set up the Alma Mater Fund to support students in crisis pregnancy, and we give them moral support, we give them information on the rights that they have to get help at the university and social services, but we also give grants as well, and those grants can be vital to allow them to get through those difficult stages. So we started that in Scotland, and we've now rolled it out across the UK, and actually just now we've launched an initiative working with the Knights of St Columba on that particular project, and they've already started fundraising on that, believe it or not. They've identified it as their big national action project for next year, but some of the members were so excited by the project that they've started fundraising on it already. So we do that, but we reach out to young people as well. We talk to them about abortion. We examine we know all the arguments better than anyone else, so we examine why would anyone want an abortion. We look at that with young people, and we give them the options. We let them see what ends up with the better outcome. And the better outcome, we think, is obvious, is to choose life.
Exactly. So tonight we are going to be spreading lots of these stories, great information, great news stories about the work that SPUC do. And you can support SPUC tonight via this live broadcast. If you always wondered about doing maybe something for the pro-life cause and maybe don't want to get involved, maybe a bit too shy, the link below on our feed with the QR code and the website address is a great way for you to donate to the work. John mentioned some of the projects there. We're going to be hearing from some of them tonight and tomorrow, and you can ask John questions, not just now unfortunately, although he's here, but we don't have much time left with the timetable, but he's going to be back tomorrow at noon, and you can ask John any of those burning questions that you have about pro-life arguments, even John in general. There's lots of questions there, and he's open to engaging with that. As for the rest of tonight, we're going to be following this very short introduction with John with a musical interlude, half an hour of wonderful music from Marie-Therese Vats, and we're happy that she has given her time to play some music for us. So we also, after that, will be going to Father Brown for adoration and prayers and benediction. So John, thanks again for coming in today. It's a very cold night, but we'll put the heating on for you tonight.
Thanks, John.
So it'd be very good if people donate as well.
Well, I see that you've got the football net set up, so I'm going to kick the ball about and heat myself up before I venture outside.
Well, before John would start the interview, we had a pre-match kickabout, which maybe not have been the best idea because I think we're both asthmatics. But the SPUC group tomorrow will be having fun and games, and one of the aspects of that will be a penalty shootout as well as other challenges as well. But tonight, the challenge for tonight will be the quiz. We're going to have the Sancta quiz, which I do weekly online. This is going to be live tonight, and it's your chance to put your neck on the line, so to speak. You're going to have a chance to answer questions from various topics in Catholic faith, and we'll see how that goes. So let us know about that. So this is what's coming up tonight. We'll see the timetable on the screen just now, and we'll cut forward to some other adverts as well about the work that SPUC do. So we'll get that rolling for you just now.
So thank you very much for that, John, and we look forward to hearing from you again tomorrow, where you, the viewers, can send John your questions live in the studio. So coming up next, we have Marie-Therese Vance, who's going to provide some musical entertainment for this evening.
Hello, thanks very much for joining me. I'm Marie-Therese Vance, and for the next wee while I'm going to be entertaining you all with a mixture of cover songs and some Scottish traditional songs as well. I'd just like to start off by saying a huge thank you to Sancta Familia for inviting me along to play for you all, and to you all for tuning in to the Showcase for Life. You know, there's no greater cause, and we do thank you so much for tuning in and for donating to SPUC. So hopefully I can entertain you over the next wee while. And I'm going to start off with a song by Amy MacDonald, who is one of my favourite Scottish singers, and it's called Mr. Rock and Roll. Also called Mr. Rock and Roll is dancing on his own again, talking on his phone again to someone who tells him that his battle's is won. He's got nowhere to go, he's on his own again. And Rock Chick of the century was acting like she used to be, dancing like there's no one there before. She never seemed to care, for she wouldn't dare. It's so rock Thanks very much. I'm going to move on now and play a song called Put Your Records On. This was actually one of the first songs I learned on the guitar back when I was in school, which was a good few years ago now. But let me just tune up this guitar and then on to the next one. 3 little birds sat on the window, and they told me I don't have to worry. Summer came like cinnamon, so sweet. Little girls double dutch on the concrete. Maybe sometimes we get it wrong, but it's alright. Oh, the more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. Oh, don't you think it's strange? Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, put your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. You go ahead, put your head down. Ooh, you're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Blue as the sky, sunshine and lonely, sipping tea at the bar by the roadside. Don't you let those other boys fool you. Gotta love that afro hairdo. Maybe sometimes we get it wrong, but it's alright. Oh, the more things seem to change, the more they stay the same. Oh, don't you think it's strange? Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, put your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, put your head down. Ooh, you're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Was more than I could take. Betsy, for pity's sake, some nights keep me awake. I thought that I was stronger. When you're gonna realize that you don't even have to try any longer. Do what you want to, girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, put your head down. Sapphire and faded jeans, I hope you get your dreams. Go ahead, put your head down. Ooh, you're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Thank you. So I've been playing the guitar about 15 years now, which is crazy. But I started playing when I was quite young. I started playing the flute, which was my original instrument, when I was 7 years old. As my family, have a musical background, so I used to play, and I still do, play a lot of Irish and Scottish music. But it was in high school that I started playing the guitar and singing covers. So I now sing at weddings quite a lot, and this next song is one that always goes down quite well. It is Bruce Springsteen, Dancing in the Dark. I get up in the evening and I ain't got nothing to see. I come home in the morning, I go to bed feeling the same way. I ain't nothing but tired, man, I'm just tired and bored of myself. Hey there, baby, I could use just a little help. You can't start a fire, you can't start a fire without a smoke. This guns for hire, even if we're just dancing in the somewhere and it's on me. I shake this word off the shoulders. Come on, baby, the laughs on me. Stay on the streets of this town. They'll be carving you up alright. They say you gotta stay hungry. Hey baby, I'm just a bit starving tonight. I'm selling fast and action. I'm sitting still around here trying to write this book and need a love reaction. Come on now baby, give me just one look. Can't start a fire. Sit around crying over broken heart. This gun's for hire. Even if we're just dancing in the dark, can't start a fire. Worried about chocolate or falling apart. This gun's for hire. Even if we're just dancing in the dark. Even if we're just dancing in the dark. Thank you very much. So I'm going to slow things down now a wee bit with a very traditional and famous, well-known waltz called Wild Mountain Time. This is a Scottish waltz, and it's one of my very favourites that I love to sing. A lot of people down in England can't understand, unfortunately, my thick accent with this song, but hopefully you can bear with me. Oh, the summer time has come, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather. Will Thank you. So that's that one was dedicated for all my Scottish family back home. Okay, so I'm going to liven things up now a wee bit with a really well-known song called Say a Little Prayer. So here we go, just checking I'm in tune. I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you. That song always reminds me of one of my favourite films, My Best Friend's Wedding, if anyone's seen it. So I'm going to change the genre slightly here and sing a lovely song called When You See Nothing At All by Alison Krauss. My granddad's a fantastic musician. He plays the accordion and the piano, and he really got me interested in sort of American folk and country music. So I will a lot of my music taste to him, I would say. So I'll dedicate this one to my granddad, Danny Harty in Paisley. And I just thank you all again for keeping watching and tuning in for such a great cause as well. Just take a quick glass of water. Okay, here we go. It's amazing how you can speak right to my heart without saying a word. You can light up the dark. Well, try as I may, I can never explain what I hear when you don't say a thing. Say What's being said between your heart and mine? This smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you catch me whenever I fall. Are you saying best when you say nothing at all? This smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll find me whenever I fall. Oh, you say it best when you say nothing at all. Oh, you say it best when you say nothing at all. Thank you very much. So I'm going to move on now. Just checking I've got some time left for you, and sing a really well-known song called Fleetwood Mac, who are again one of my favourite artists to sing at weddings. So I sang this recently actually for a first dance, so that's why I decided to play it for you tonight. Here we go. Now here you go again, you say you want your freedom. Now who am I to take no? It's only right that you shouldn't play the way you're feeling, but listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness like a heartbeat drives you mad. The stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what you had and what you lost. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. I said when they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know. Now here I go again, I see your crystal visions. Oh, I keep my visions to myself. It's only me who wants to wrap around your dreams. And have you any dreams you like to share? There's a loneliness like a heartbeat driving mad, and the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost, what you had and what you lost. Oh, thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. I said, oh, women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know, no, no, no. Oh, you know, no, 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 So it's come to the last song, I'm afraid, for me to sing. But just before I sing that, sorry, I have my iPad here, so I'm just trying to get to the next song. So at the end of September, I was lucky enough to attend the SPUC's national conference, and if anyone was there, you might recognise some of these songs as I was playing at that as well. But it was such an incredible weekend to be a part of, and if you have the opportunity to go next year, I would highly recommend it. You can make brilliant friends, and the talks were just world class. So yeah, thank you again to Sancta Familia for inviting me along. And the biggest thanks is to all you at home listening, or wherever you're listening from. So thank you very much, and this is the song that I actually sang to finish off my set at the conference. And actually when I finished it, someone came up to me and said, "Oh, that was great, could you actually just sing that again?" So, but I don't think it was my singing, I think that the song was very special to them. But I'll give it a go again anyway. So this is Leaving on a Jet Plane by John Denver. So thank you all again, and I hope you enjoy this last song from me. All my bags unpacked, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye, but the dawn is breaking, it's early morning. The taxi's waiting, he's blown his horn. Already I'm so lonesome I could die. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you've never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be
Both are coming through fine. Perfect, thanks Thomas. Okay, then Mike.
Thanks very much, Marie-Therese, for that. That was a wonderful evening of musical entertainment. So now, coming up next, we have the Sancta Trivia Quiz, where John will be in the studio asking both Louise and William questions on Catholic trivia. Of course, you two at home can join in. Please note down your answers along, you can comment them in as well, and we can see how you did at the end.
Hello, welcome back to the studio. We're here for Sancta's Catholic Trivia Quiz. Now, normally I would do the Catholic Trivia Quiz weekly and you would answer the questions in your own free time. But tonight it's a little bit different because for Sancta's Showcase for Life, we have two special guests in the studio today. We've got Louise and we've got William from SPUC, and they're going to be answering the questions live along with you, the viewers at home. Now, you have the chance to answer the question, and please don't be shy, don't be afraid as usual to let us know how you did. Some of the questions are going to be quite hard, some of them you should be getting right. For tonight's show, we're going to be having, just let me explain the kind of setup here. There are going to be 5 rounds, and those 5 rounds will be consisting of 5 questions. Now, for each answer, Louise or William will be writing down the answer and revealing the answer at the same time, giving you, the viewers at home, a chance to respond. So, since it's a fundraiser tonight, every question you get wrong, if you do get a question wrong, then why don't you donate £1 to SPUC? There might be a lot of poor punters out there tonight. We'll see what happens. So, anyway, let's go for it. The question categories tonight, round 1 is your bread and butter. So we expect 5 out of 5 for that. Absolutely. Round 2 is top of the popes. Do you know your pontiffs? We'll find out. Round 3 is a show and tell. What is a Catholic object? And we'll have that later on. Round 4 is patron saints. Maybe St Jude might be invoked for some of you, especially some at home. And round 5 is general knowledge, so it's going to get fun. So, Louise and William, good luck to each other. And you have the clipboard there, and you have the pen. I have the comments on here as well. So when you're joining this quiz in the live feed, please write in your comments after the question, and you might be lucky or unlucky. I might call you out. So, we're ready to start?
Let's go.
Go for it. Okay, so round 1, bread and butter. So, for the first question, we're focusing on the 4 last things. What does the church teach that the 4 last things are? You can write your answers down and tell us when you're ready to reveal them. Marie O'Shea is ready to go.
Certainly not funny, Louise.
I'm not ready.
Louise is not ready to go, but Marie O'Shea is.
Not a laughing matter.
Are you ready to reveal your answers?
Yes, almost.
So, William's writing an essay, Louise is writing something.
It's not legible. But...
So, if you can reveal your answers, please. Death, heaven, hell, judgment. They're not quite in the right order. We've got Death, judgment, heaven and hell.
Of course, yeah.
But we'll give Will the points for
Because
that.
you didn't say order.
Yes, and Louise will get condolences.
I'll do better next time.
That's £1 to SPUC. So, Moira Ruth went for confession and Eucharist. That's the sacraments, unfortunately, so that's not correct either. So, well done, Will. 1 mark there.
Sound.
Question 2. Let's hope Louise catches up. Which apostle was not there in the room when Jesus first appeared to them in the upper room after the resurrection? So Louise, you've got a chance of 12 here.
1 in 12.
Are you ready to reveal your answers?
Yes.
Reveal your answers. So Judas, and what did you say? Thomas. So technically you're both correct, but at that point in time Judas was not an apostle, he betrayed Christ.
So
it's Thomas. So we'll give Louise the points. So 1 each for that.
Oh.
Maria O'Shea and Marie Fitzgerald got that correct. Well done back there at home. You got it right with Thomas the Apostle, because afterwards Thomas then has to put his hands in the holes.
Oh, of course.
Question number 3. What did Jesus mix together and rub in the eyes of the blind man to restore his sight at Siloam? Just remember, for every question you get wrong, please donate £1 to SPUC if you can.
Money rolling in.
Are you ready to reveal the comments?
Yes.
Yep.
I haven't got the second part.
It was which mixture?
Mixture.
I'm not going to repeat the question, but I'll do it once. Which mixture did Jesus mix together?
Can't we're going by the clock here, Louise.
I don't know. No.
No.
Okay, so reveal your answers. Sand and spittle.
Well, that's what I wrote. I wrote spit. But then I rubbed
Clay
it.
made it.
So yeah, mud. So we'll give Will the mark for that. It was mud and spittle. So that is 2 to William and 1 to Louise. Lucille McQuaid says no pressure, William and Louise. Jackie, you've got it correct. You've been listening. And so has Moira Ruth. Fantastic, good stuff. Question number 4. This is a wee tricky one that not many people know. And neither did I actually until I looked up the answers to it, so don't think I'm that smart. How many books are in the Bible?
Yeah, of course.
In the Bible. I did know this, but you never retain this information.
And this is the Bible, not the amended ones.
Very diplomatically put. Yes, it's the Bible.
See, this is a total guess.
Okay, so can you reveal your answers, please?
Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Yes.
So the good news
the
is
same one.
you both get the points.
Yeah, of
The
course.
real answer is 73.
And
Because
then rubbed it out.
sometimes Jeremiah is separated from Lamentations.
Right.
So it comes to but 72 is correct. Moira Ruth's way off with 66. Lucille McQuaid's bang on the money with 73. She knows her Bible. Well done, Lucille.
Quite Lucille.
And so that is now the updated points. And the tally of the points here on the screen, you can see at home with Will leading Louise by 3 points to 1. So the final question of the round, let's hope we can have Louise pull it back a bit. Which sacrament is necessary for the removal of the stain of original sin? Think back to the Penny Catechism if you're of an age. And of course, if you're joining us, you might want to donate any wrong answers by giving £1 to SPUC, if you're able.
And a prayer.
And a prayer. Are you both ready to reveal your answers?
Yes. It tails off a bit, but...
Okay. Oh. And Lucille Louise takes the points.
Oh.
Reconciliation does remove sin, but it's original sin. So well done, Louise.
Basic.
So that's 3-2 to William. And Michael Joseph Robinson got baptism. He's correct as well. Jackie Eve, Agus McCluskey, and Moira Ruth all got it correct. So that's the end of that round, and Will is still in the lead.
There's pressure
Oh,
when
no,
you're
it's
sitting
level,
here,
it's
by the way.
Is it level now? Well, obviously, I can't count. There's 5 questions, so that's good.
Because we got one.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's great. So I trust Brian's counting in the background very well, so that's fine.
Oh, that's awful.
Round 2 is Top of the Popes. So a bit of a mixed multimedia around this round.
I'm going to be terrible at
A
this.
tricky one, I have to say. So, question number 1. Do you recognise this Pope's voice?
Nella mattina io sono tranquillamente. Mai avrei immaginato quello che stava per succedere.
Do you need to hear that again at home, or do the contestants need to hear that again?
No.
One more time. Okay. So, can you reveal your answers? And Will? Both way off. It is Pope John Paul I, Albino Luciani. So 0 points there for both. How are our followers online getting on? We'll just go back to that and see. John Paul II guessed Moira Ruth. It was actually John Paul I. Quite a hard one. Patricia O'Neill went for John Paul XXIII. He's going to appear in about the year 3000, so he's not happened yet. John Paul XXIII. Sorry for the sarcasm.
Was he the smiling pope?
Yes, he was a smelling pope. He had a very gentle voice, and some people think it was an indication that he was maybe in poor health, which led to his sudden death. So question number 2. Popes are synonymous with the white cassock. For centuries they didn't wear white. What colour did they wear?
Surely.
So, can you reveal your colours?
The blood of the martyrs.
Both correct, well done. Red, yes. Now the reason they wore red was blood of the martyrs. It was changed by, I believe, Pope St Pius V, who was a Dominican and kept this white habit. Right. So the tradition stuck. So, question number 3, and we're going to go to the multimedia, and we're going to have a photo call here. This is a photograph of a pope. Can you name him? And we'll get one on the screen. Might be a bit bigger for the contestants, but for those at home, it should appear on the screen. Yes, and Moira Ruth and Patricia O'Neill both got the last question correct with red. Well done to you both. Fantastic. So, are you happy with the choice?
I think so. He looks different there.
Looks different. You remember him differently. Can you reveal the pictures?
I'm just not even going to.
Pius X, no.
I'm just not even going to guess.
And it's not in a guess. It was the first pope ever photographed, Pius IX.
Okay.
Yes, the prisoner in the Vatican. Question number 4. The cardinals are elected in a conclave. What does the word conclave mean?
This is tough.
How are the scores looking? Are we tight, neck and neck? Good guess from Patricia O'Neill. And Lucille's on the right track with the conclave question. Are you both ready to reveal your answers?
I don't think it's right, but
No, I don't think it's it.
yeah. No, the rest of it's fine.
Go for it. Now, you're on the right tracks, and Moira Ruth and Patricia O'Neill both touch on it. They say being enclosed in a group, and Moira Ruth says being a private meeting. But it literally means conclave with key, because we're locked indoors. So that's the answer for that one. So we're still tied at 4-4. Okay. Not bad at all. The next question for this round is the 5th question, which is: which pope opened the Second Vatican Council? Some of you who are tuning in, no judging, may have been alive at this time. We weren't. So if they get it wrong, it's fine. Agus McCluskey and Maria O'Shea are on the same wavelength with the conclave meeting and gathering, secret assembly.
Because there was one that closed and the second one opened, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct. So you're giving Louise a hint there. So, and evening, Louise Marshall. Thanks for joining in. There's quite a good number of right answers here. Let's see if our 2 contestants in the studio can get these answers correct. Are you ready to?
Yeah.
You drawing a picture of him, or? So I sound really patronising right now. That's not the case. Can you reveal your answers? Paul VI and John XXIII. Louise takes the points. Paul VI closed the Second Vatican Council.
Close. That was, to be fair, that was kind of trying to figure out. Yeah.
But good guesses all round, and not far off. Well done, Moira Ruth. Patricia O'Neill showing off. She's going for Angelo Roncalli, which is the real name of John the 23rd. So well done. 2 points for you. Charlie McCluskey, excellent. John the 23rd. Sean Deegan's using Roman numerals, showing off a bit as well. John the 20th. John, actually no, your Roman numerals are wrong, John. It's not John the 13th. It was John the 23rd. So nice try. Stop showing off. So we're going to go to the next round, and this is round 3, Catholic objects. A bit of show and tell here, and I have the items with me under my desk, so I've got to do a bit of gymnastics and bend down without causing cramp in various locations. So anyway, the first item we have here, item 1 of 5. Do you recognise it, and what is it called? Don't worry, I won't mark you down on the spelling. For the viewers at home,
I know what it is, but my mind's went blank on what it's called. That's annoying. Can we skip it and come back to it? It will come back to me.
So we're getting good right answers in here from the viewers online.
Not wanting to get too political, but is this a post-Vatican II thing?
No.
Did it? Right, okay, because it's not.
Maybe it's a modern one. I'm not going to say the name. It's a modern one.
It's a modern version of it.
But we're getting right answers on here. Sean Deegan's on the right track, Tricia Neal's on the right track, Moira Ruth's on the right track, and Agnes McCluskey are both on the right track, so no pressure to our contestants tonight. Are you both ready?
Is it hard to spell?
It is, yeah. So what's the answers for this? I'll take that as the right answer, Eloise.
Yeah.
Patton's a smaller dish.
Yeah.
It's a ciborium.
That's the dish, yeah.
So the answer's
Spelled right?
no.
Okay.
It's spelled CI. It comes from cibos in Latin, which is for food. So the bread is in this. Item number 2. And show you this one. You may recognise this.
Yeah.
Item number 2. A Catholic item. You might see this in confession. Well done to all the answers who were correct in the last question. We've got here this one.
Coming from Glasgow, Louise will be familiar with all that.
That's giving me a big hint there. So yeah, Sean Deegan is correct with this one, and so is Moira Ruth. Fantastic answers there. Sandra McCluskey is bang on the money. So is Marie Fitzgerald. So can you reveal your answers or guess in here? It's a stole, yes. I stole this from Father Brown earlier. He doesn't know yet, but if he's watching the live feed, he'll find out. So item number 3, that's a point apiece for you both. Item number 3. This one is going to be very tough.
Oh no. I've seen it before,
For those who are watching with the volume on full, I do apologise for the ear-bursting noise of this liturgical item. But
that's what you used to say to the football, isn't it?
yes, you did as well, but not under the same name.
No.
So congratulations to Catholic with Attitude Clothing, Marie O'Shea, Marie Fitzgerald, Sandra McCluskey, Charlie McGonigal, who all got the last answer stole correct, which is what a priest wears to show the sacramental nature of his office. And Kevin G. Cameron's online as well. Good night. Hi, Kevin G. Cameron. So, are you both happy to reveal your answers? I notice there's a lot of silence on the radio like waves because not many people are recognising this rare liturgical item. This liturgical item, which is not far seen, it hasn't been seen for almost 50 years. So if you're over 50, or maybe even older, over 60, you might not know what it is. But have a guess, let us know. Patricia Neal is bang on the money, actually. So, can you reveal your answers?
I don't even have a guess.
No guess. So, Will's correct, it is a clacker, and Patricia O'Neill calls it a clacker.
Well, that's what I was going to say, but I didn't think that was the right.
Yeah, so it is a critalis.
Okay.
When is it used? I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself.
Sometime in every week.
Yeah. So, Passion the bells are not rung because of joy. So on Holy Thursday, instead of when there's Mass, there's no bells, and at the consecration you use the clacker instead. So it's pre-Vatican II.
Okay.
Dusted it down from the cupboard.
I was going to say, where did you get it?
Yeah, Catholic with Attitude's correct for that one as well. Question number 4, item number 4. I'll try not to spill these. You may recognise this liturgical item, especially altar service. So I'm looking at you, Megan Kern. If you're watching the live feed, you should know your stuff. Charlie McCluskey is right in saying that it was on Saturday at the football he would use the clacker. Yes, he would. So, do our contestants want to write their answers down to what these items are?
I don't know the technical name for it. Have you ever served mass? Okay.
Sean Deegan is bang on the money, so is Mario Ruth again, and Patricia Neal, so well done to you all.
Oh no, Sean was a good server.
Well, then you heard it here first, Sean was a good server.
I have never served.
Sandra's on the money as well, fantastic. Are you both your answers there?
No, I don't know the technical name for it.
You can write down the non-technical name if you wish.
Okay.
That's what we're having afterwards. And Louise will reveal her answers. Pori things. That's actually correct. It's the cruets.
To put the water in.
Yeah, the water and the wine is in here for mass. Cruets.
Yeah.
So well done to Sandra McCluskey. Megan Kern with the sunglasses emoji is bang on the money. And so is Patricia Neal. And the last... The last item...
We'll be back shortly because he has wrecked the studio.
Wrecked the cruets. They're still in one piece. The last item for Catholic Show and Tell of round 3 is revealed. And this is something you would probably wear personally. If not, look up the story of it. Very interesting indeed. This one's a bit tattered, but if she gets tattered, you can replace it.
Well used.
Well used indeed. And do you have your answers? Yes, so brown scapula, correct. So both correct answers there for you both. So
would I get an extra point for the colour? Observation.
You don't need to get extra points for the colour because they come in a variety of colours. The most common one and most famous one is the brown scapula. So well done for the answers there, Patricia and Neil. I went a bit too quick for the rest of you, but you should know the answer anyway, so let's be honest. And now the scores are updated and we have 8 for Louise and 6 for William, so well done. So, round 4. This is all about saints, and this is what we all hope to be.
This could go either way, isn't it?
Even if you get some questions wrong in the Sancta quiz, you still hope to be a saint.
Yes.
So, the first one is a picture round, and we're going to show you a picture of a saint. Do you recognise the saint?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get that up full screen. Best you can.
Yeah.
A lovely story about this saint, and a very, very powerful intercessor for those who have been trafficked. So the people back home think they have the answer. Megan says for all the saints, but she hasn't yet given the answer to this question. Who is the saint? Sean Deegan is bang on the money. You know it's the saint. I can see his halo from here. So are you both ready to reveal your answers? Okay, can you reveal your answers?
The right saint.
That's yes, that's correct. We have
that's fine.
William's correct.
I spelled it wrong, right?
And we'll give Will the points for that.
Funnily enough, my car is named after.
So Louise's car is named after the answer for today's saint, Saint Josephine Paquita. Just to check, to our official score checkers in the back rooms, did Louise get a point from that?
Well, I got it right. I just spelled it wrong.
Okay. Yes, give her a point. Okay, so Louise gets 8 and William's on 7.
I don't need to put a nicking point.
Okay, so question number 2. Who is the patron saint of students taking exams? Charlie McCluskey is wondering if certain members taking the quiz online are Googling. Don't worry, our contestants here don't have phones, as you probably can tell by their answers. But for those online, no cheating. Some people are just that good. So you have your answers for question number 3?
I don't know if I've spelled that right.
Okay. Oh, well, Louise takes the points there. It is St Joseph of Cupertino. St Thomas Aquinas was an intellectual.
Did I spell that one right?
That's correct,
Yay.
yes. And he famously floated and is a patron saint for those who are sitting exams. So for all the students out there who are sitting exams this December, intercede and pray to St Joseph of Cupertino. So the next question for this quiz, question number 3 in this round, is another sound question. And I'm going to ask you if you recognise the voice of this saint.
Hay muchas cosas dentro de nosotros que no las queremos soltar. A veces dentro de nuestro corazón. Y realmente nosotros no tenemos derecho a tener nuestro guardamar más que el amor de Dios. Y después, con ese amor, y a través de ese amor viene el amor a todas las criaturas, los amores santos a nuestros padres, a nuestros hermanos y a todas las almas.
So, a tricky one.
So early 20th century. Spanish.
Yep, so some good clues there. Some good clues. In the previous round, Lucille just missed the mark with Thomas More. Sean Deegan got it right again with St. Joseph Cupertino. Sandra McCluskey is guessing the saint's name, not far away, but not right. Patricia O'Neill is guessing that wrong as well, unfortunately. Sean Deegan has a good guess, but can you both reveal your answers in here? So you and Sean Deegan are on the same wavelength, not Saint... Oh, actually, it is St. Josemaria Escriva. But Sean Deegan gave St. Josemaria as well. Louise didn't have any answers for that. So yes, it is St. Jose Maria Escriva, the founder of Opus Dei. So that's another point there for William. William's been studying for this round, he's been practicing all week. So the final question for the round here... actually, the second last question for the round. How many approved miracles do you need to be named a saint in the Catholic Church? Well done, Sean, on getting that answer correct. A very niche answer, but there are clues there, as Will rightly said. 21st century saint, Spanish speaker. It could have been Oscar Romero, it could have been Josemaria Escriva, and it was Josemaria Escriva. So good answers coming through here for this one, and can you reveal your answers? Oh, Will takes the points again. Louise says 3, so it's actually one to become blessed and then another one afterwards to become a saint. So good stuff. It's still neck and neck here at the top, so don't look too concerned. 9 and 9 for both Louise and Will. And in the house we've got Patricia Neal with correct with 2, Charlie's on the ball with 2, Jackie Eve just missed it with 3, same wavelength as yourself.
Why did I think it was 3? I've always thought that was 3.
Maybe, well, if some erudite viewer thinks I've got the questions wrong, then by all means, let me know. Sandra McCluskey's got it correct with 2, and Moira Ruth's said 3 as well, so unlucky for that. So the fifth and final question of the Saints round, and that is, who was the last person named a saint from Scotland?
Last person from Scotland.
Just a reminder that if you're watching our quiz, you are watching Sancta's Showcase for Life live, and we're having the Catholic quiz live here. You can donate to this quiz. Why don't you donate £1 for every question you get wrong? I'll be collecting Louise's money with a van after the quiz. So some good answers here. We've got some really, really good stuff. Thank you, Paul Burke from Birmingham. Good to have you joining in. You're not sharing your answers, but please do. Charlie McGonagall's on the right ball. Maria Shea is on the ball as well, but she's not given us an answer yet. So could you reveal your answers to the last... Well done, Louise. You can tell who's been in Scotland longer. Yes.
Still blessed.
He's still blessed. Yeah. So John Scotus is still blessed. Interesting character, John Dunn Scotus, but they're saying the last saint for Scotland was John Ogilvie. So the points go to Louise for that round. So that concludes that round. Well done, those who are getting the points there. Charlie McGonigal, Maria O'Shea, thank you very much. Sandra Kluski, thank you very much. Charlie as well. And
Charlie
Sean Deegan.
Given me pelters if I get that wrong.
And Rani Ron, well done, thank you for that. Hear that, Charlie? If Louise got it wrong, we're giving you pelters, so build up the pelters. So we're in our final round, and it's been a great quiz so far. You're very competitive, no one's running away with it yet, and people at home as well
on a wee roll, but I wasn't.
are doing well. So the final round is just a random general knowledge round.
Okay.
And the first one we have is a picture round. So if you can identify the basilica on the screen, where it is and what it's called. Charlie says, indeed, Louise, you're giving you pelters. Moira Ruth says, execute the cross. Yes, that's correct.
I feel like I recognise it, but I don't know.
I think I've been there.
Do you need to get the actual name or where it is?
So Sean Deegan's got the country, but he's not got the right basilica. Moira Ruth is on money.
Am I right in thinking that the name is intimately linked with the city?
Kind of. So, any more guesses online for that one before we go over?
I don't know. I think I sort of vaguely recognise it, but.
So, do you have answers in for that?
I don't write anything.
There, and we'll look at the answers. So,
in Paris.
it's not Paris, we went to the same thing as Sean Deegan, it's the Basilica of St. Therese in Lisieux.
I should have got that right, to be fair.
Go with your first answer. Thank you for the answers there. Moira Ruth was right there. Patricia Neal just missed it out there with that one, St. Malmo. So the second question is a Latin question. How's your Latin? Coming up to Christmas time, we're going to be singing Gloria in Excelsis Deo. What does it mean? Lucille's been to Lisieux but didn't recognise it. It's a stunning basilica in Lisieux. Quite amazing, really. The size of it. So.
If my mum's watching, I apologise because she took us there as kids.
So Will apologises to his mother because he was there in Lisieux as a child but doesn't obviously remember the basilica. So Megan's on the money with her Latin there. So is Sandra and Moira Ruth. Can you review your answers? Absolutely correct. Well done. You know your Latin. Glory to God in the highest. That's 2 points apiece. So now to your more contemporary music. For question 3, we're going to be choosing the missing lyric of this hymn.
Yes,
just for the record, the belief it's not me that Louise is swearing in this. It's the hymn being blocked out. So the question is to guess the missing lyric. Michael Joseph Robinson loves this hymn.
Other verse.
Okay, so some of the people online here, Megan's got half of it correct. Sandra McCluskey is close enough, but not right. Right him. Jackie Eves way off with that, but close enough. Michael Robinson is the one who's getting it right. So we'll play the angle and reveal your answers, please, as well. No, not quite. So both of them no points for that. Let's hear the answer.
Desire's another verse. So Joy Giver was the missing lyric. In fairness, that's more than a word.
Yeah, well, it's a joint word. So question number 4, of the second penultimate question of the whole game, is what is Pope Francis's full name? And remember, I'm asking for the full name.
I don't know.
And well done, Ali Robinson, for getting that answer correctly, and we wish you all the very best with the upcoming baby.
You were writing quite a lot there.
Yeah, I think my music taste is a bit high.
So Sandra's given part of the Pope's name, not the full name, which I'm looking for.
I don't have the full name either because I don't know.
And do you have?
How many names have you written?
So I'll give Michael, I'll give William the points because it is Jorge Mario Bergoglio, and Louise is just a bit short of that one.
Yeah, I just didn't know what the middle part was.
So William gets the points for that there, and that is level, 11-11. So this means that we're in the final question of the final round of the Sancta quiz, which makes me a bit sweaty as well because I've not written a tiebreaker question. I have to make one up on the spot, which I'll do. So,
make sure it's one I know.
the final question, actually it's quite a fun one. It's basically whoever gets closest to the date will get the points.
Okay.
So it's when the Catholic Church hierarchy was restored in Scotland. What was the year after the Reformation?
Oh my goodness.
So closest to that, when the Catholic hierarchy of bishops was restored in Scotland after the Reformation. Tell us the year. Whoever gets closest to it wins. Sandra's met Pope Francis twice and still hasn't got his full name. So you remember it next time, you'll say, Hola, Jorge Mario Bergoglio.
I feel like it was closer than the original thing.
No idea.
Okay, so nearly there. Okay. So we're nearly there, and we've got some good questions there coming through. Megan's a wee bit off. Patricia Neal's getting closer. Emma is backing Will. Sorry, Louise, to break it to you. He's saying, come on, Will, I believe in you. So have you both got a year in mind?
No.
I've got one written down.
Moira Roof's further away. Charlie's the closest so far.
What did Charlie say?
So remember, whoever's closest will win the round here.
I just don't remember dates
So
at all.
Yeah.
So
you got to write something.
Okay.
I've written something.
So can you do your answers then for us?
No.
1810, 1850. I'm sorry, Will. Louise has taken the round. The year of the restoration of the Scottish hierarchy in Scotland after the Reformation was 1878. So Louise is out by 28, but Will's way out. So unlucky to you both. The good news is Louise has won by a point, and she wins today's prize. Today's prize is this quiz set. So we've got a lovely film and TV quiz, hand-cooked chips, and brewdog and beer.
Amazing.
I think Will will be needing the beer after that.
William did say in the way here he wanted a beer afterwards, but it looks like I'll be the one getting the beer.
So maybe magnanimous Louise will share the beer with us all. So congratulations, Louise.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, the first ever Sancta quiz online. I hope you enjoyed it. It was fun for us here in the studio. Thank you very much to both contestants. Really good sports. It was a really hard quiz.
It was a hard quiz, to be fair.
So
yeah.
Very
That was a hard quiz. I was expecting more sort of like questions on like the sacraments or commandments or something like that. That would maybe be better.
General stuff. Well,
Yeah.
maybe next time.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining in the quiz today. And we're going to cut now to the church to have our evening half-an-hour prayer of adoration with Father Brown. Use this chance to take your time out to relax, cool down after the quiz, pray for women and children in crisis pregnancies, and pray for an end to abortion. Thank you for joining us.
What a wonderfully interesting quiz this evening, and thank you so much for you at home for commenting and joining along. So if you haven't done so yet, let us know how you got on in the quiz this evening. So now we're going to go for the spiritual aspect of this evening, and we're going to give you the opportunity to pray along with us as we cross over to the church for adoration.
Jesus, my God, I adore you here present in the blessed sacrament of the altar, where you wait day and night to be our comfort, while we await your unveiled presence in heaven. Jesus, my God, I adore you in all places where the blessed sacrament is reserved and where sins are committed against the sacrament of love. Jesus, my God, I adore you for all time, past, present, and future, for every soul that ever was, is, or shall be created. Jesus, my God, who for us endured hunger and cold, labour and fatigue, I adore you. Jesus, my God, who for my sake deigned to subject yourself to the humiliation of temptation, to the betrayal and defection of friends, to the scorn of your enemies, I adore you. Jesus, my God, who for us endured the buffeting of your passion, the scourging, the crowning with thorns, the heavy weight of the cross, I adore you. Jesus, my God, who for my salvation and that of the whole human race was cruelly nailed to the cross and hung there for 3 long hours in bitter agony, I adore you. Jesus, my God, who for love of us instituted this blessed sacrament and offered your life for the sins of the whole world, I adore you. Jesus, my God, who in Holy Communion became the food of my soul, I adore you. Jesus, for you I live. Jesus, for you I die. Jesus, I am yours in life and death. Amen. A reading from the prophet Isaiah. Thus says the Lord God, the Holy One of Israel, people of Zion, you will live in Jerusalem and weep no more. He will be gracious to you when he hears your cry. When he hears, he will answer. When the Lord has given you the bread of suffering and the water of distress, he who is your teacher will hide no longer, and you will see your teacher with your own eyes. Whether you turn to right or left, your ears will hear these words behind you. This is the way, follow it. He will send rain for the seed you sow in the ground, and the bread that the ground provides will be rich and nourishing. Your cattle will graze that day in wide pastures. Oxen and donkeys that till the ground will eat assalted fodder, winnowed with shovel and fork. On every lofty mountain, on every high hill, there will be streams and water courses on the day of the great slaughter when the strongholds fall. Then moonlight will be bright as sunlight, and sunlight itself be 7 times brighter, like the light of 7 days in one. On the day the Lord dresses the wound off his people and heals the bruises his blows have left. The word of the Lord. Gaza, the Gaza Strip. It's been in the news these past few weeks. We know what's happening there. And that strip of land has been likened, compared to an open-air prison. And that's what it has been, indeed is, for the inhabitants of that small piece of land. It's been an open-air prison. And some time ago, indeed a long time ago, the inhabitants of the then southern kingdom of Judah, they came to find themselves in an open-air prison. They experienced what is known as the Babylonian captivity. They fell prey to a great superpower back then, the Babylonians. They were defeated and carted off into what in effect was an open-air prison. And that was because of their "I know better than God" attitude, as a result of embracing a culture of death as opposed to a culture of life. They distanced themselves from the one true God, and as a consequence, they were defeated, taken off to a foreign land. They experienced humiliation and great suffering. But in time, some time later, there was a restoration as touched upon in that reading from the prophet Isaiah. They emerged from that darkness. They found themselves basking in the light. And that movement was facilitated by way of King Cyrus of Persia, modern day Iran. So the help that came their way came from an unexpected source. And that king facilitated in time their safe return, and indeed he funded the rebuilding of their society and the temple itself. So help came from an unexpected source, and that's something for us to keep in mind, we who are part of the culture of life, who are part of the pro-life movement. We should keep in mind that quite often, from time to time, help comes from an unexpected source. And that's the case in recent years by way of the former President of the United States of America, Donald Trump. And that's evidenced by way of a letter that he produced for Down Syndrome Awareness Month. I'd like to read it. It touches upon this whole theme that we're celebrating by way of Sancta Familia's pro-life presentation over this next couple of days. It was penned by President Trump on October the 1st, 2018 for Down Syndrome Awareness Month. During Down Syndrome Awareness Month, Melanie and I join in celebrating the lives of the more than 250,000 Americans with Down syndrome and those around the world with this condition. Together, we recommit to deepening our understanding of Down syndrome and learning more about how we can ensure the beautiful people with Down syndrome are able to fully participate in society. We will always support the dreams of those with Down syndrome and respect and honour the sanctity of their lives at every stage. Today, as a result of advances in research and treatment, people with Down syndrome are leading healthier and longer lives. Through innovative speech, occupational and physical therapies, we are finding new ways to build upon the physical and intellectual abilities of children and babies with Down syndrome. We are learning more about this condition and increased need for widespread education and acceptance. These efforts help to ensure many of our youngest citizens with this condition are able to live fulfilling, independent and productive lives. All people are endowed by their Creator with dignity and the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Despite some persistent myths and stigmas, even within the medical community, our nation strongly embraces the undeniable truth that a Down syndrome diagnosis is an opportunity to embrace God's gifts. I stand for life in all of its beautiful manifestations, and I and my administration will continue to condemn the prejudice and discrimination that Americans with Down syndrome too often endure. During this month, we vow to continue creating opportunities for and supporting the extraordinary men, women and children with Down syndrome. Every day, they inspire us to live with great love, joy and appreciation for our world, and those who make it a truly unique and special place to live. Life is precious, and it is our moral duty to protect and defend it. Like all of us, President Donald Trump, has his faults and failings. In that regard, he's no different from anyone else on this planet. He has his faults and failings, but he has his good points too. He has a heart that seems to have a leaning towards the pro-life movement. It seems to be rooted in the culture of life. He has a soft spot for those who are handicapped, such as the Down syndrome, men and women who occupy this beautiful planet. The unborn is evidenced by his presence, the only president to do so, to attend the annual March for Life in Washington, D.C. some years ago. And also by way of his appointments of judges to the Supreme Court, where now the balance is shifted, where the majority of judges are pro-life, and it led to the revoking of the Roe v. Wade decision from many, many years ago. So there's been pushback, there's been a movement forward for the pro-life movement. And who would have thought, for all his faults and failings, that Donald Trump would be someone who would provide great support and encouragement to those who have been battling for many, many years to advance the cause of the pro-life movement, to defend life from conception to natural death. Who would have thought? But here's another thought with regard to a man who experienced a 180-degree turnaround in his life, St. Paul. In his many writings he said, pray for everyone, but he then moves from the general to the specific. Pray for everyone, but then specifically, pray for kings and leaders. So this is something we should always do, endeavour to do, is pray for everyone, but especially those who occupy positions of power, who occupy and live out their lives in the corridors of power, our political leaders, our politicians. It's easy to moan and complain about them, and it's right and proper that we take them to task when they've been guilty of wrongdoing or when they've got it wrong with their policies. But we should always pray for them. We should pray that those who have hearts that are rooted in the culture of life, that those roots deepen, that they don't give up, they don't become discouraged by the repeated waves of opposition and ridicule, etc., that come their way. We should pray for them. We've got them over the other side of the pond. We've got them here on this side of the pond. There are many American politicians who are fiercely pro-life, and we have a sprinkling of them here in the United Kingdom who are vehemently pro-life, who are swimming against a tide, a hostile tide of opposition and ridicule. So we should always pray for those who are pro-life, that they don't become discouraged, they throw in the towel, that they walk away, that instead they continue moving forward. And we should pray for those who are in the majority, leaders, politicians, political representatives, that they experience a change of heart, that they experience a shift from a culture, an outlook, a culture of death, to a culture, an outlook of a culture of life. So let that be our prayer in a special way tonight, heeding the word, the exhortation of St. Paul, that we pray for our leaders, our politicians. Let's pray that our Lord, the Lord of life, will sprinkle the corridors of power with more men and women who are pro-life, who have embraced the culture of life. Let's pray that that continue to be the case, that it come to be the case, so that we can continue to advance the pro-life movement, the culture of life, so that one day, God willing, the culture of death will die, will come to an end. The divine praises. Blessed be God, blessed be his holy name, blessed be Jesus Christ, true God and true man. Blessed be the name of Jesus, blessed be his most sacred heart, blessed be his most precious blood, blessed be Jesus in the most holy sacrament of the altar, blessed be the Holy Spirit, the Paraclete, blessed be the great Mother of God, Mary most holy, blessed be her holy and immaculate conception. Blessed be her glorious assumption. Blessed be the name of Mary, Virgin and Mother. Blessed be St. Joseph, her most chaste spouse. Blessed be God in his angels and in his saints. O sacrament most holy, O sacrament divine, all praise and all thanksgiving be every moment thine. O sacrament most holy, O sacrament divine, all praise and all thanksgiving be every moment thine. O sacrament most holy, O sacrament divine, all praise and all thanksgiving be every moment thine. Let us pray. Lord God, our eternal Father, we come to your throne full of awe and reverence at your saving power. Through our brother and Saviour Jesus Christ, we beg you to help us stop the widespread killing of unborn children in our land. May our love for our innocent brothers and sisters and their mothers closely resemble the love that exists in the Holy Family. Help us provide all human life with protection under our civil laws. We know that through the intercession of Our Lady, chosen spouse of the Holy Spirit, our request will be granted through Christ our Lord. Amen. Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, et spes nostra salve. Ad te clamamus, exules filii Heve, ad te suspiramus, gementes et flentes, in hac lacrimarum vale. Ea ergo, advocata nostra, illos tuos, misericordis oculos, ad nos converte. Et Jesum, benedictum fructum ventris tui, nobis post hoc exilium ostende. O clemens, O pia, O dulcis Virgo Maria.
thank you very much to Father Brown for arranging adoration for us this evening. Now we're going back to the studio and we're going to hear from SPUC's own Margaret Akers, who's going to tell us about the Alma Mater project.
So I hope you all feel suitably relaxed and spiritually uplifted after that wonderful holy hour. We're back in studio for Sancta's Showcase for Life with one of SPUC's dynamic employees, Margaret Akers, who is the Service Coordinator for SPUC. So welcome, Margaret.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming here. You are, as the big picture behind you suggests, empowering pregnant students through a fund called Alma Mater. For those of us who are not aware of what Alma Mater is, could you explain what it is, first of all?
Absolutely. So the Alma Mater Fund is an initiative of SPUC which offers financial grants to students facing difficulties in pregnancy, so university students who find themselves pregnant who need support. We also signpost those students to further sources of support and more sustainable sources of support so that they can finish their degrees.
Right. So, and do you think there is a need for this? How did it come about, the genesis of this idea?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's started with my own experiences working around universities, being a student and being involved in pro-life work there. You begin to realize how hostile environments universities can be, intentionally or unintentionally, towards pregnancy and maternity. And you think about what that experience would be like for women. And university-age students, the average university-age student, is in the highest risk group for unintended pregnancy and abortion. And yet, how often have you in universities been going to classes or whatever else and seen a pregnant student or seen a student that has a child? So this is obviously a hidden problem and something that isn't addressed in a way that it should be, because we know it's happening to students, but it's not something we see very often. And so this initiative was kind of born of that as an attempt to try and meet those students in their need.
Of course, and one of the things that's good about it is that there's this narrative that being a pro-lifer or being involved with SPUC is you're anti-women, anti-abortion, anti-this. What you're doing is you're actually making life better for women. So how did the project start up? Where did you start it? What particular?
Yeah, so we started pretty small because our resources were small at the time. So we started just in Scotland, which was 18 universities that we were able to support students from. And we did that for about a year. And then after that, we were able to expand to Northern Ireland, which adds just another 2 universities. And then following that, we expanded across the UK. So this is about 18 months ago. And that was basically a tenfold increase in the number of institutions we covered. So that was a massive jump that we were able to do. We were really grateful to be able to do that and to be able to support students across the UK. But we widened the net much further in the last year and a half or so, and we're very grateful.
So Margaret, what do you say to those who are pro-choice and advocate that abortion is an example of pro-choice, but the choice for students to have a degree and study is made almost impossible because of the burden of pregnancy?
Well, that's exactly it. So one thing that the pro-choice narrative often misses out is that the culture that we've created, it doesn't leave very many options for pregnant women, and it doesn't really leave that option open of bringing their child into this world. It represents so many challenges for these women. So for a student who becomes pregnant, she might really think that she's choosing between her degree and her future and the life of her child. That's a real decision that she's faced with, and that's an impossible choice. It's not the real choice. That's a false narrative, but it's the narrative that's been built up around her. And so part of the aim of the Alma Mater Fund is to say, actually, there's a way you can do this. You're going to need a little bit of support to do it, but it's possible. And so much of crisis pregnancy work is just that, is meeting people in that need and opening up that option to them to give real choice in these situations and to open up real options for people.
How would people come to Alma Mater? How would they find it? So say, for example, I find myself pregnant, I'm a pregnant student, I'm worried about my degree, I'm worried about the financial implications of it. How do I find support and apply to Alma Mater, for example?
Yeah, well, this is one way that any viewers can really help. We've found that young women have been in touch with us because a community nurse let them know about us, because they saw a poster in a church, because a friend of a friend saw a social media post shared, right? So you might think that you don't have contact with university students, but if you share our message, if you take posters and leaflets and bring those to your community, it can make a huge difference, and you might not realize that you're reaching somebody in need. So that's really important. And then once a student finds out about us, through a variety of ways. We've even thankfully had some students referred by university staff, from supportive university staff. It's a really simple process. So usually they'll get in touch with us over WhatsApp, over text message, email, social media. We arrange a phone call with our coordinator, Heidi, who we love, she's a volunteer, and she takes them through the application process. And so we make it as easy as possible on students to apply. And it's really about getting to know them and getting to know their needs and seeing what we're able to help them with. And it's all, we try and keep it as friendly and as low pressure as possible. I mean, really, again, we're all just working together to find a workable solution for these young women, which is great.
Of course. It's a wonderful thing. It really is uplifting. In the course of our work with SPUC, we've obviously met some of the people you were involved with as well, and maybe we can talk about their stories later on. But in terms of the raw numbers, the data of who you're helping so far, what has been the numbers of people helped since the inception?
Yeah, so at the moment, we've offered 37 grants. We're working with more students as we speak. So that's since our inception in 2019. Now things were slow during COVID years, and things have been massively busy recently. So we had more applications in September and October than we did in our entire first year operating. So massive growth, which means obviously there's demand there, right? Applications aren't slowing down. So there's demand there that we're finally realizing we're reaching the people who need it. And there's probably countless more people who need it, who we want to break through and try and reach out to them as well. So it's 37 total grants offered to date, but that number is still growing. And as I say, we've been busier in the last few months than ever before.
I can imagine. One of the things that's interesting about that is the fruits of it. You know, you've got, it's not just, we look at statistics and we think 37 people, we think, oh, that's great, 37. These are 37 individuals who are faced with difficult choices.
Absolutely. And they've got, the situations that they were facing have varied so significantly. So in terms of the support they've received from family or haven't received from family, you know, we've spoken to people who have been kicked out of the homes, their family homes. We've spoken to people who have real housing troubles, people whose partners are supportive, people who sort of fear potential violence from partners. I mean, we've got a really wide range of experiences, and people facing some pretty difficult circumstances, and we're glad to be able to reach them and make a real difference. And you know, that's probably looking like, you know, I think probably around 25 babies born from the initiative at this point, which is fantastic. Like, that's not an insignificant number in this country, and we're really pleased to be able to help them and to facilitate them finishing their degrees.
That's brilliant. It's a great story. I don't know if you can talk about individual cases, but obviously we've been involved with covering some of them. How have they responded to being involved with Alma Mater Fund?
Oh, we've had such a positive response from people. It's interesting when, I think often when people face an unintended pregnancy, the response they get from people around them are things like, oh, what are you going to do? How are you going to make it work? Oh, that's so difficult. And it's, these people care about them, but they don't realize how much pressure they're putting on these women. Whereas our response tends to be, okay, this is the situation, you're capable and competent to deal with it, and we're going to help you do that. We usually congratulate them on pregnancy, and it's quite clear that we're often the first person to congratulate them on their pregnancy. And again, it's treating them as capable of undertaking this, of competent in both their studies and in their motherhood, and just moving forward with that kind of confidence. And I think people really respond to that, because it's so different from the response they get to the people around them. Yeah, we're very grateful to be able to build their confidence too, because ultimately they are fully capable of moving forward in that way.
Of course. And is it possible to be both raise a child and study at the same time? What's the kind of challenges there or possibilities?
Oh, it's difficult. I mean, I'm not going to mince words. It will be a difficult thing to do. A student timetable is unpredictable, so even thinking about childcare around studies is difficult. But that's what we're there to try and help. We're there to try and facilitate making it work, and ultimately it's a short-term challenge for long-term success of a family.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, we can deal with this for the year that you have left in your studies, the 2 years you have left in your studies, and you'll get through to the other side. One thing that I think is a challenge is, for it to work, these women also need help from university staff and departments. And that's a difficult thing, because you can imagine a tutor in a university department may have never faced this problem before, so may have never had a student come to them and say, I'm pregnant, what can we do to facilitate this working? You know, they'll be used to potentially dealing with students with disabilities, potentially dealing with students who have health problems come up, or family bereavements, or those sorts of things where people make accommodations and adjustments. But this is a pretty unique circumstance for a lot of them, and they're usually woefully unaware of the support that's actually out there, and the rights that pregnant students have. And so part of our work is often advocating for students in these circumstances and saying, well, actually, you need to let your tutor know that these changes should be made in order to facilitate you staying on your course. And here's the kind of thing that you can ask for, and here are the adjustments that can be made to make this possible. You know, what does your maternity leave look like? Do you have to adjust lab placements because of risk to your baby? What kind of things can we work around reasonably to make this function? And it's so much easier when you have university staff who are also committed to making it work. And where we've had the most difficulty is where they've been unwilling to adjust and accommodate around a pregnant woman's needs.
And that was essentially going to be my next question. How have universities across the country been receptive to this? Do you find it in pockets, or do you find it generally across the board they like the idea, or they're against the idea?
We find it in pockets. So I think because it's an initiative of SPUC, and people have a particular prejudice about a pro-life position, you'll find people, I reach out to them about the initiative and never even hear a response. And I've written to student support staff, financial staff at universities, GP practices around universities, anybody who comes in contact with students. But that's not exclusively true. So we've come across some staff who have been really receptive. Interestingly enough, I've found in Northern Ireland, the staff are much more receptive to our mission. And I think that's still because culturally there's still a bit of that pro-life identity there. And so we've had girls referred directly from staff members at universities in Northern Ireland, which we're really grateful for. And there have been a couple elsewhere, but oftentimes we cannot rely on university staff to refer to us. We need to find alternate routes in. So we find ways of doing that and find ways of still reaching students, despite the fact that we're not always able to break into that space, which is so frustrating, because ultimately we're offering support to students who might need it. And I don't know how difficult it would be for a student support center to keep a couple leaflets on hand, but that's a hard space for us to break into.
Well, exactly. People have a kind of preconceived notion that SPUC is kind of pro-birth. Once you had your baby, that's you. This totally changes the narrative. Yeah. The Alma Mater Fund, you're basically allowing women to have the choice to study and have a baby, but also supporting them after that birth as well. What's the kind of material aid that they kind of benefit in general from Alma Mater? What kind of things help?
Yeah, so you mean what we are able to offer? Yeah, so we offer small financial grants, but then I'll also support women in helping them, letting them know what hardship funding they can apply for directly from the university, what that looks like. I've helped a couple women through applications for that. Referring to other support in the area, so are there baby banks, are there whatever else, depending upon where she's based, as well as letting them know about other facilities. So does their university have a creche? what are breastfeeding facilities like on campus? Because that's something that's important to people. Are there student parent support groups at the university? This is actually something that exists, which is great, but I think a lot of people don't realize it. Because being a student parent is difficult, there are groups. Some universities even have student parent representatives on their student council. That's very unusual, but it does happen. So in that case, you have somebody there who's representing your position and advocating for you. And so what we're able to do is help identify all of that information and bring it to a student, in addition to the grants that we offer. Because one of the problems that I realized at the beginning of this is that it's not that the support doesn't exist, it's that it can be quite difficult to find, and it's scattered. So it'll be sort of all over the place. And you can imagine if you've just found out you're pregnant and you're in a bit of a crisis, I mean, how much are you going to be able to sort of sit down and do your research about what childcare looks like on your campus and what benefits are available to you or anything like that? I mean, that's just not going to be the headspace you're in. And so we're glad to be able to be a bit of a one-stop shop for here's what you need to know and what might be helpful for you.
Well, it's really powerful because you mentioned earlier about that you might have been the first person to say congratulations, which in itself is a very simple act, but a very powerful shift of mindset for those who are in what they consider a crisis, but you're turning it on its head and saying, well, actually, this is a great opportunity for you. Yeah. How are you going to upscale Alma Mater? You've gone UK-wide. How has that been as the demand is increasing, as you say? How is infrastructure in place for that?
Yeah, so we've got, I mean, it's really just two of us who work on this regularly, and we do have great plans for expansion in the next couple of years. We started with universities, again, because of our resources, and because of this sense that universities were so sort of hostile to our message. But I'm also very conscious that other higher education institutions, it's the same situation for pregnant women. So it's not just universities, colleges, and these sorts of environments too. So we'd love to be able to expand to cover other higher education institutions as well. That would be a massive expansion. We also are, again, I'm only part-time on this project and we have a volunteer who works on it. But if we had the resources available, we'd be able to bring on full-time staff to the initiative, which would mean we could commit a lot more time to reaching out to students who might need us, figuring out how to break into areas that we haven't broken into, as well as being able to manage the administration as things grow. So that would be really important. And then we'd also like to be able to expand the grants we're able to offer. So not only be able to offer it to more people, but to be able to offer more significant financial help. But that's all sort of in the pipeline as resources permit us to be able to do. That's our hope for the future of the initiative.
You heard what Margaret said there, resources are key. This is why we're doing Sancta Showcase for Life. We're raising money for SPUC. SPUC will use that much needed cash to fund fantastic organisations and groups like Alma Mater under the umbrella of SPUC to help directly mothers and babies, and it's having a material effect. You heard the figures from Margaret there today. You heard the need that is growing. So by all means, every single donation you give here to SPUC will go to directly benefit the lives of women and babies. It's a fantastic, uplifting story. Margaret, how do people get in touch again?
With the Alma Mater Fund. So we've got a website, almamaterfund.co.uk. We also have an email address that you can reach out to, info@almamaterfund.co.uk. And there you can find all the information, phone number you can call to get in touch with us, send us an email if you need us. We've got leaflets, so if you'd like to request those to distribute in your community, just get in touch and we can send those to you. And if you know of anybody who could use our support, please do point them our direction.
Will do. The details for that will be appearing on screen just now, if the technology is working right. Hopefully it's there. And also the links to donate to our Sancta Showcase for Life appeal. So that leaves us to say thank you, Margaret, for coming in.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure as always to hear the work you do. God bless it. May it grow.
Thank you very much.
God bless.
The Alma Mater Fund is really important because it gives women tangible financial help while at the same time progressing and pursuing their academic studies.
When I was pregnant at first, it was the biggest shock in my life. I was not expecting it.
Pregnant and parenting university students are vulnerable to a great number of things while at university. Many of them feel as though they have to choose between finishing their degree and having their child. According to the NUS, 11% of student parents report having enough money to cover their expenses, and 60% of student parents have considered dropping out at some time during university, and that number goes up to 65% when you consider single parents.
The Alma Mater's Fund was so helpful in helping me get things that I wouldn't have been able to afford, like cots and prams and all the little things as well. You don't realise how much money it actually costs to have a baby, but it really helped me out, yeah.
And so there's clearly a need there to support pregnant and parenting university students. And often universities are hostile environments to having children. Children and parenthood is not something welcome on campus. And so in response to that need, SPUC Scotland established the Alma Mater Fund to help alleviate some of the financial pressure, as well as to signpost to women the various places where they can get further support to continue their studies and have their children.
When students contact the Alma Mater Fund and I can speak to them directly, it's a very personal link, and I'm able to talk directly with individual students, get to know the women who may be helped practically by Alma Mater grants. Just chatting with them on the phone gives me a better insight and makes me more aware of the difference that the grant can make to their lives.
So to other students, I would tell them that you can do it, you can definitely get there with a baby. There is support out there in the university and charities like the Alma Mater Fund. Yeah. Baby. Aha, yeah, you can have a baby, can't you?
Mama. Mama. The Alma Mater Fund is currently restricted to Scottish universities, but it's our hope to expand to universities across the UK, as well as to students in other types of scenarios, whether it be college or something similar. Now, of course, there are 10 times as many universities in England as there are in Scotland, so that's a huge task ahead of us. But we're really hopeful that we'll be able to extend this support and this helping hand to empower more women to both pursue their degrees and have their families.
You can actually get through it, and I love her to bits as well, yeah. It's just, you're guiding me through it, don't you? Yeah, I feel like she's like my motivation now to actually push on and get my degree and get a job out of it as well.
Thank you, Margaret, for that wonderful insight into the work of the Alma Mater Fund, supporting pregnant students. Now we're crossing back to the studio again, and we're going to speak to Catherine Mockler, who's the online face of SPUC, broadcasting weekly from the studios in Glasgow.
So I hope you enjoyed that interview with Margaret Akers, and we've had a great night tonight actually. It's been very uplifting spiritually, it's been fun, it's been educational to learn about the things that SPUC do. One of the people who brings the most content from SPUC across the UK and beyond, with a fantastic array of news pieces, interviews and general SPUC education videos is Catherine Mockler, and we're delighted to say we have Catherine in the studio here today.
Great, thanks for having me, guys.
How are you,
Thank
Catherine?
I'm great. I'm excited to be here for the first time ever, so looking forward to our interview.
So the viewers will be aware of you from SPUC News, Uplift, all the great shows that you do, but might not know about you so much personally.
Oh gosh,
So,
yes.
yes. What is your kind of background in the pro-life cause?
Yeah, so, well, keep it short and simple, really. I am the eldest 7 kids. I'm from Tipperary in Ireland, so I'm a long, long way from Tipperary right now. And I have a little brother who is called Jack, and he has Down syndrome, and he's 13. And I guess growing up, I was always pro-life in school. I remember myself and another girl in class were the only 2 out of a class of maybe 20-something to defend the pro-life cause during a debate. And following on to that, then I went through college. I studied in Maynooth, I did Irish and religion, and I helped out a bit on campus with pro-life societies. You know, just thought, okay, this is a good thing to do. I did witness a little bit of a backlash, but I had great support, great networks in Ireland. And then I went to, because I was like, I obviously wanted to fight for my brother as well, like, because we know in the UK babies can be aborted up until birth. And so I would, you know, leaflet houses during the referendum. I think a pivotal moment in the referendum came when outside my house we had a pro-life sign, and we had literally just put it up a day when somebody had just taken it down, you know, and I just thought, wow, people want to try and silence, you know, this is crazy, like. And so that was fine. And then I went to, I think I had done my master's in Belfast and come back down to work in Dublin. So I was working in like the corporate world for Manpower at the time, and I was living with a girl who was a lawyer. And it was through Grace, my friend Grace at the time, that the Lord was really working through her to fight for the unborn, and she had a prayer group once a month for the unborn. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. And again, I was like living my best life. I had just finished my master's, doing my work, and I just thought, wow, this girl has given up her time to pray for the unborn. This is quite cool, and she's doing it once a month. I was like, I'll join you. And so we do it once a month for the unborn, for women who are hurt as a result of abortion. And I guess that's where, on I think month 3 of me joining, I remember one pivotal moment again in my life was a few of them, that I remember just reading my Bible one day after work, and all of a sudden just feeling like this like overwhelming sadness and burden for the unborn. Now anyone who knows me knows that I'm quite bubbly, chirpy, driven. Like, it's not my usual demeanour to be going around with this heaviness, crying so much. You know, I was quite shocked that this was happening to me. And I just remember hearing, you know, in my spirit that God was like, you know, you're crying now, and how much more will you cry when you have your own baby one day? And I just was like shocked by it. So when Grace came home, I was like, we need to keep praying for the unborn. We need to speak up for them. And a couple of months later, I think it was COVID had hit and stuff, and I'd lost my job, and I was praying for another role. And somebody in that prayer group had said, you know, that God was going to use somebody here for the unborn. And I was like, oh, I don't know who that is. And a couple of months later, I ended up feeling kind of called to go to Belfast. So I left Clonolty and Thurles with 5 bags. Was really trusting God, because I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I had interviewed for different companies, and I didn't have peace. I had 1 or 2 offers, and I didn't have peace. I wanted to do something creative, and I felt I was to give my time to the unborn, but I wasn't sure. And then I moved to Belfast, and about 3 weeks in, I was kind of panicking. I was like, Lord, like, you told me to move up here. Where is the job going to come out of? And each time I prayed, I would get Psalm 127, which talks about the fruit of the womb as a reward. And I'm like, okay, this must be something about the unborn again. And about on the 4th week that I had moved to Belfast, again, like, I was really trusting God, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just trying to get opportunities. I shouldn't take them. I need to take something that what God has called me to do. And within, I think, about a week, I got a message from Sarah, who had sent me the application for the video job. So yeah, so I applied after 3 rounds of interviews and a grilling. I got the job, and I was able to work from home with SPUC. in Belfast, and then John, the boss man, was like, can you come over, we have a studio? And I was like, okay. And then I guess not the panic, but you know, when you're just moving countries by yourself, you don't know anyone. I had built community in Belfast. I also built community in Dublin. I was up and down. I was a social butterfly. Everyone kind of knew me back there. And I put the work in to make those connections. And I was kind of like, okay, God, like I'm leaving all this. Obviously my siblings as well, who I'm very close with. I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters, who I miss dearly.
You're watching tonight.
I'm sure they're probably watching. I have them all well told anyway. So there's multiple platforms to watch us, guys. And so I suppose when you're that close to your family and you all get on, like you really do feel it when you have to move. So I remember, was it a Sunday, I was praying one morning and I was like worshipping for my charismatics out there. I was worshipping in my kitchen and I just felt, you know, in my heart that this like words come to me like, you know, that Jesus holds these babies close to his heart. And I was like, okay, I wrote it down and I'd asked God for confirmation before I moved to Glasgow and give my kind of life for this role in a sense. That I'd have more confirmation, and he'll do that, you know, if you ask he'll show you. So about that day I was meeting a friend for coffee and I was going to go to mass first, and then when I got there, it was during COVID, the church was actually closed. So she was at this time, you know, I got the times wrong, whatever reason, and a couple of hours, so then she was like, do you want to come to my service while you're waiting for yours to be on later on? I was like, okay, like I'm into ecumenical as well, so I went to her service. I think it was Sharon Perry, if Sharon Perry is watching. She was leading worship in a church, I think in East Belfast somewhere, and I get up my Irish accent. I was like, okay, I'm going to go in here. Right, don't make a scene. And I came in and there was people worshipping, you know, away, and all of a sudden, about an hour into it, the lead pastor, Sharon, said, the girl with the brown hair, and I said, yeah, me. She was like, I see an unborn baby over your head and it's not yours. And I was like, yeah. I was like, it's not, I'm single. I was like, it's not me. And she's like, yeah, but she was like, I feel like I have to tell you that the Lord keeps these babies close to his heart. And I was like, whoa. I was like, shut the front door, because I literally had just heard that and prayed that morning and I wanted confirmation. And I said to Sharon, Pastor Sharon, I was like, I'm leaving in 3 days for this role, and I was nervous and anxious kind of leaving my family and friends, and I just wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing. And that for me was confirmation. Then they prayed for me and they were like, we're going to pray for you because you're taller than your enemies. And at that time I was like, I don't have any enemies, like, you know, it's fine. And I think God was like, oh, wait until you land for this role. So that was kind of my background, my introduction. Good. And studies in Ireland, and I did a master's in PR in that kind of strategic communication. That helped me. My time at Ulster University helped me to do this role with SPUC now. So yeah, I don't know if that's kind of what you wanted to.
Of course, yeah, of course. We are live, so viewers can, if they want to, ask Catherine a question or not. A very comprehensive account of Catherine's life story. There may not be any questions left to ask.
Sorry.
You did mention, Catherine, about enemies as such. You know, have you faced any kind of backlash from being a visual pro-lifer working with SPUC?
Wow, okay, so how long have you got? I know, I will say, I was warned that, you know, when you speak up for the unborn, you know, some people will be angry, some people will be mad, and I guess it was a big wake-up call when I did, because immediately when I said what my job role was, I faced some division. People were like, oh, you know, do you hate women, da-da-da, and I had some people remove me as friends on Facebook. Now, I'm laughing at that because to me that's minuscule now, 2.5 years in, I don't care, like, and I think, so that was the first kind of thing where I saw, okay, people would try and remove you on Facebook. And then I think, I had objects thrown at me in March for Life last year, and I had, we won't go there, and I also had, this year, unfortunately, not unfortunately, like, whatever, it was just at the start of the year, a neighbour of mine had left a threat for me downstairs, handwritten note saying I had until Sunday to take my pro-life sign outside my window down. Again, I just was like, right, okay, whatever, ignored it, prayed about it, got people to pray about it. In 2 days, he had taken it down. And then after, I think, the March for Life in September, I came back to my street where I live in Scotland, and I saw 2 more signs, aimed at me from neighbours. So yes, you have people who disagree with you, but the thing is, like, I've no problem with someone having a different opinion to me. You know, I'm happily, you know, we'll meet you for coffee. But I will say the level of evil that I have witnessed, not only from me but towards other people, has been really eye-opening, and I suppose it's confirmation to me and to others that we're doing the right thing, because I welcome the fight, I welcome the chase. I suppose being the eldest of 7, you're kind of used to, you know, fighting your case, like, and I'm, you know, my mum would say from the age of 3 I hate the word no, and I'm like, I'm quite a determined individual. Any of my friends would say that, and I think you develop a thick skin, but your faith, for me, that's what, you know, gives me the strength to persevere, and a great team, and I've great friends, and, you know, great men and women in my life that can help me. But yeah, it gets a bit wild though, like, you just never a dull moment really when you are speaking up for the unborn, but that's nothing in comparison to, let's say, I get women calling me who are in such awful agony and pain, you know, 2 weeks after an abortion, 3 weeks after an abortion, and the pain I might feel, let's say, if someone threatens me, is nothing in comparison to what that woman's grief is like, or what a child who has to, you know, has been poisoned, suctioned, or dismembered and desecrated piece to piece. And some of people, you know, who are quietly pro-life are afraid of losing a friend on Facebook. Like, guys, like, you know, wake up. It's nothing in comparison to, I'm not saying everybody has, you know, like, as me, I'm maybe called to a more media role, but I think you can fight for the pro-life cause in different other ways, but hidden as well. So please don't let it put you off being pro-life. I just do it because I'm doing it because it's a media role in a sense, so that's what comes with the job, unfortunately.
Well, of course, as Catherine said there, you don't have to be as vocal or as upfront as we are in some senses, being pro-life, but you can help in many ways. It's the quiet things in the background, it's the prayers that help. Definitely. For example, this live feed today, you can donate to SPUC, which is a great charity. It will help promote, save women and children. Wonderful thing to do, and you don't need to be public about it. You can do it very quietly in the background, and it'll go a long way to helping SPUC fight the good fight to defend women, defend lives, and also to support people who are in crisis pregnancies and continue the media campaign. How do you cope, Catherine, with all this? How do you kick back and relax? I saw you at golf. I will say this, everybody. I was extremely surprised when we went to golf that Catherine, we don't have any footage of it, I'll maybe provide that tomorrow. There is footage somewhere. Catherine is an incredible golfer. I'm pretty sure some of her golf balls are still travelling. And I apologise to the people on the M74 who were maybe hit by one of those balls, because she hit that ball far.
Oh my gosh, oh
but
God.
Apart from the golf, how do you find time to chill out of this culture of death?
Yeah, I think that's so important too, because I think when we're passionate about something, we can really try, and let's say we're a determined person, like, we can really try and do things in our own strength, so we can strive to make things happen, strive, and God is actually calling us to just steward what's in our hands and actually unwind. And I've had this conversation with a friend, Cal, I think he might be watching tonight, a few weeks ago, and he'd remind me, like, what do you do for fun? I was like, yeah, like, I like painting, I do like going to the driving range, golf. I'm not good enough yet to be out on the green, I don't think, but, you know, I need to work on that. But I did enjoy getting, like, golf lessons when I was younger, and also painting. Fashion for me is, you know, I'm sure people might see from Instagram, I love creativity and dresses and you know, reading about that and reading as well. But I think for me, because I'm a creative person, it comes down to, like, painting. I like to paint. I have paintings up in my room, and also baking and cooking and reading. So I think that's, for me, God is like, just, you know, relax a bit. That's important. I know you're passionate, but it's important. So between sport and painting and fashion, and also skincare as well, like, I'm a mixture of all of those, which I think is important. I think,
Perfect. So one of the things which is interesting about moving to this other country is a new perspective you have. So how have you settled in Scotland? Do you feel settled now? What's the highlight of being in Scotland?
Oh wow, okay. So when I first initially moved over to Glasgow, and I found it very difficult, I'll be honest. It took me a while to find community. I was moving houses a lot, and eventually I moved to the West End, and, like, I'm so blessed now after the long, hard year. I've made the connections in the community around me, St. Peter's, and my friends, and I really feel like I'm at home here. I know my real home's at home in Tipperary, but like I really I've made those connections now in Scotland, and people have been very good to me, like very hospitable and friendly to me in Scotland. So I would encourage anyone who's thinking of going abroad, like, do it. It takes intentionality to go out and make the connections, but I've made them, and like my colleagues are great as well. You know, I'm in the office as well, and people have been really blessed. So it's like, yeah, I have community here, which I'm really, really thankful, because it's on those days when, let's say, you might have a bad day at the office or something crazy's at work. It's like so important that you have that, and people who also have a heart for community as well. They're not just meeting up once a week, but they're praying for you when you need prayers, or they are covering me. There's often times where people don't see, people just think it's me chatting to guests, but there's a lot of spiritual warfare that comes with my job that people don't see behind the scenes. And I can tell my neighbours, I have lovely neighbours as well. I don't want people to be put off by the three others that are with their signs. Like, I have fantastic neighbours and fantastic friends who live near me who, you know, give their time, their resources and their prayers, and that literally they've prayed before filming for me and nights like that. So I'm really grateful, and we can have the fun together going for dinner and stuff, so it's amazing.
And you've got the Real Time goes out once a week, and you've got the Uplift. Who's been your favourite Uplift guest so far?
Oh gosh, I wasn't prepared for this question. Gosh, who was my favourite?
It could be someone inspiring, or someone you had fun with, or someone you think. There's been quite a lot of them.
I think Dr. Joanna Howe, the lawyer in Australia, I really clicked with her, really resonated with her. I really liked her. Like, we got on very well, and I think of everybody I've interviewed, they're all fantastic. I think so. I think because she was more, for me, she was kind of vulnerable with what, you know, it's a hard job, you know, and I think fighting for the unborn, and sometimes it can be tiring to be brave for so long, and I think, you know, she does show her vulnerability along with her strengths, and that's what I admire in her. You know,
great.
so
I mean, if those who are watching want to watch some of Catherine's uplifts, you will be able to get them. In fact, we'll be playing one of them tomorrow with a Margaret Cuttle, who had an abortion. But a very interesting, very moving testimony on the Uplift. But SPUC have a variety of Catherine's shows available online. You can watch them. You'll find them at SPUC, social media, YouTube and websites. Really, really good. So you've definitely been an inspiration, Catherine, over the last 2 years.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure to work with you in that regard. We're looking forward to seeing what the future brings for SPUC and yourself.
Yes.
In the fight to defend the unborn.
Yes.
So,
thank you so much for having me. It's my first interview.
Oh yes, of course. Catherine's on the other side of the interview table, so it does feel a bit different, as you'll know.
Yeah.
But I think she did well today, so I don't think she'll be under her own lens. That's another show that Catherine does.
Check it under the lens.
She won't be under the lens next time, but check that out as well, Under the Lens.
Yes.
So, thank you for tonight. The show has been varied. We've had spiritual, we've had entertainment, we've had testimony, we've had education. And tomorrow we're going to do it all over again, because 3 hours wasn't enough. We're going to give you 12 hours tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow from us at 12 noon.
Yeah.
And there'll be a full broadcasting show, different guests coming in, chance to ask Q&A. Sandra says, thank you, Catherine, and very inspirational. Tipperary's loss is Glasgow's gain.
Thank you so much, Sandra.
So it's a very nice comment there from Sandra.
Love you.
Just a reminder, you're all very shy in the comments. We are live, so you can send in comments. If you have any comments in retrospect you want to ask Catherine, you can send them in still over the course of the feeds, and Catherine will come back on and answer them at some point tomorrow.
Definitely.
But that leaves us for just now to say thank you to Catherine for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow at noon, fresh-faced and cheery-faced. Is that the word? I don't know. Catholics with Attitude Clothing says, what an inspirational. God bless you, Catherine.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So thank you, and good night.